Good morning again, friends. This is such a wonderful talk of Swamiji's and such a great topic and an important one. Master said we should say, I can, I will. And he loved the spirit of eventually, why not do it now? And also the greater the will, the greater the flow of the energy, the greater the flow of the energy, the greater the magnetism, then the greater the inspiration. I remember when I was growing up in Los Angeles before I came onto this path, and there was a strong feeling in me. We weren't poor, but we lived in not very, affluent neighborhoods. And, I went to a kind of a poor school, and everything around me was kind of poor, and it wasn't very uplifting. And I just knew, this isn't my life. I'm getting out of here. And I just could feel inside of me. I remember at one time, I just knew I can learn, I can be successful, I can get things that are needed, I can help my family. I just knew inside of me. It must have been from past lives of affirmative thoughts from who knows how many lifetimes. And I remember at one time I was just thinking so clearly. I was just out of college before Ananda, and I had this very strong thought: I can do anything I want. I can do it. And I just felt this power in me, and maybe that was Master's power saying, yes, but you need to know what to do, which I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had it within me to do it. And this is the principle of our whole path is, yes, you can. You can make a difference. You can change your karma. You can change your destiny by changing your thoughts. And how you change your thoughts? Change your energy. Make your energy stronger. Draw in more energy. Lift the energy upwards. I remember a time recently in January, I was in Pune, and we were having a walkathon there. I have to say, those Pune devotees, they put on fabulous events. And Dr. Aditya, the leader there, is just very expansive, and all the members. And so, people were walking. It was 10K, or maybe 5K or 10K, or maybe 3. And so, of course, I signed up for 10. And everybody was walking. And then I noticed a man who was walking near us. We were at the back to, make sure everybody got going okay. And this man who was walking near us, he had a knee surgery, a knee replacement. He was walking with his daughter and grandson, and he walked he walked 5 kilometers for sure. We had to almost push him into a car at a certain point because he just said, no, I want to do it. And I thought, that's the right spirit. And there was a blind boy walking with others, of course. And I think he walked the whole 10 kilometers. But why? How did they get that done? Why? They had the right spirit. They had the right energy. And this is an essential part of the spiritual path, to not say, oh, I can't, oh, I don't want. And Swamiji said there was a man who was at the ashram with him when he was with Master, and he was just full of moods. And you can just think, people are full of moods. Oh, I can't do it. Weak, wimpy is a good word for it. And so this man would come into Swamiji's room and just sit on the bed, so heavy. And you just never could break out. And I believe it was that man, Master would talk to him and say, come out of there, come out of that body. We think that this is who I am, these thoughts, this old karma. You have to break out. And as you start breaking out, you realize what power you have behind you. And I know, and I lived in Italy for some time serving there, and there was a consciousness there. I think it's changed. It's certainly changed among the devotees. But as we went there, that everything was difficult. You say, well, can we do this? Do you think we can do this? No. Ma è difficile. No, that means it's so difficult. And everything you would say, oh, no, we can't do that. And, and we just were doing everything because it's the right spirit. Master trained Swamiji that way. Swamiji trained us that way. And I know in India, when I came here, it was I would ask people about things, and they would say yes, but it wasn't a real yes. It was just yes, definitely. And I thought, now what does that mean? And I found out it meant no. They would say yes, and now that's changing too, of course. I remember we were going to do, well, one last year, this time I did Master's 9-day cleanse. So I had just about begged people to join me, please, from the Gurgaon Center, please, would somebody join me? No, I can't do that diet. It's a tough diet. There's no caffeine, there's no salt, sugar, there's no fried, no cooked foods. I mean, well, you can have a cooked vegetable, but no condiments. And there's 9 whole days. And I couldn't get one person. I even asked the Noida people, I believe. I mean, excuse me if I didn't ask you. I couldn't get one person to join me. I did it myself, of course. Why not? And then came around last October, November, I started recruiting people early on, asking people who I knew were strong, who would want to do it. And it turned out that I believe there were 35 of us who did Master's Diet for 9 days. Some people did a little less, maybe some people did a little less than that, but for the most part, everybody was just really going for it because they see, of course you can do it. And why say I can't do it? Of course you can. And so saying yes to life changes your consciousness, it changes your magnetism, it changes your health, it changes the circumstances around you. Master was walking down the street one day in San Francisco, and he needed money for his nationwide tour in America. And his secretary told him, and this is why you got to be around positive, strong-willed people. His secretary said, oh, sir, you can't go anywhere. You don't have any money. Master just said, I'm going regardless. So he was walking down the street, and someone saw him, this Indian Swami, and I don't know how he was dressed, but he certainly was, you could tell he was Indian. So he walked by, and the man said, oh, I want to help you with your work. And Master said, you don't even know who I am. And the Master said, yes, I do. From your eyes. Isn't that a beautiful answer? From your eyes. He wrote Master a check for $27,000. Now that is an incredible story. From his magnetism, from his mind was so strong, from his complete faith in God. And so then Master, of course, was able to go on that tour. But you have to be firm in your convictions. You can't say, oh, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen. You say, yes, it will. I will do my best to make it happen. And so in the mornings, I was thinking, first thing in the morning, say yes to life. First thing, talk to God in the morning. Master said, I just love these teachings. He said, from the bed. I mean, he gave us every possible way we can practice these teachings. From the bed, he said, charge your body. Inhale, charge the whole body. Exhale, from the bed, lying down. Do it as many times as you need to. I remember one fellow told me, I said, you just got to be in this talk. I think it was Mumbai, but excuse me if it wasn't Mumbai. So we were having classes, and I was saying to people, get away from the television and do the practices. And we taught them energization on. Finally, he said, in one of the other classes, Dhyana ji, I'm doing the practices now, but I can't stop the television. He said, at least now I can sit up and I can watch television. I thought, well, that's a step along the way. But Master said, charge your body from the bed. And I tell people, sit up, then get up. Just get yourself up, sitting up and then get up. And then he said, from outside the bed, just standing right next to the bed, walk in place, I'm awake and ready. I'm awake and ready. Isn't that, it's so wonderful. And in your mind, think of God and Guru. They're never sleeping. Instead of looking over at the clock and going, oh no, or the other one, oh my God. And not in a good way. It's like, oh no, look at the time. But if you put yourself in the consciousness of God first thing in the morning, just say, no, I'm not asleep. I'm not subconscious. I'm not going down. I'm up. And then after that, don't go to the newspaper right away. People go, oh my God, they're reading the newspaper and they're getting weaker by the moment. Or they're reading on the internet, oh God, what happened? Swamiji said to us, do not go into the consciousness of the disease. First thing you should do, get to your temple, bathe or whatever, energize. Wow, energization, that's changing people's lives. You should be energizing at least 2 times a day and take energization breaks instead of the chai break. And the bed chai, get up. The energization is enough chai for in the morning. And so then go to your temple. Go to that temple. It's magnetic. Sit there and talk to God and do your kriyas and do your hong sa and get in tune through Om. Feel, I am strong. I'm strong in myself. I'm saying yes. My master has given me the way to say yes. And then afterwards, maybe do some postures, Ananda yoga with the affirmations, get on your harmonium. However, but charge yourself. I remember a woman, I've told this story, it's worth telling, I can't tell it as long today, but she had a disease, a terminal illness, and she talked to Swami Kriyanandaji, this was some 30 years ago, and he said, don't go there, don't go into the consciousness of the disease, meaning don't let your energy go, oh, everybody who's had this has died, and I'm going to die, oh, I'm getting the virus. This is people thinking, oh, I have to save myself. The only way you can save yourself is get your mind clear, get your energy up. As the energy is flowing, just like moving energy through, just think of a river, and if there's things along the banks, debris and twigs and branches, and if there's a high flow of water, if there's a monsoon, everything moves. If you can get the prana moving in your body, everything moves. And then you find yourself, you don't have to try to think, am I positive and energetic? Am I enthusiastic? It's like the answer is, no, you're not. But as you get the energy strong, you say, yes, I am, yes. And so this woman, Swamiji said, don't go there, just don't go. And boy, she was powerful. You find some powerful people who are practicing teachings like these. And what did she do? She got in her car. I mean, she was sick. She got in her car, started driving around and teaching people. She wrote affirmations. She practiced affirmations. Did Kriya twice a day, energization twice a day, 108 Kriyas twice a day. She called people up. How are you? She lived 1 year. The doctor said she had 1 year. By 1 year, she's still alive. Second year, she's still going strong, teaching, helping people, seva, satsang. I loved her. She was one of my best friends. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years passed away. She's still strong in herself. 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you hear what I'm saying? 9, 10 years that woman lived. Get strong in yourself. 10 years more than the doctor said? My God, I knew her myself. And at the end, I went to see her, Davy G and I took her hand. You couldn't hardly recognize her then. Her body was just so beat up, but she had spirit. And I took her hand. Her name was Happy. She named herself that. She was always happy. I said, Happy, I know you can hear me. I know you're fine. Squeeze my hand. I know you feel God's presence. And she squeezed my hand. And I went and got the nurse and said, this woman, she was in a coma. I said, she's out of the coma. She said, no, it's impossible. I said, you just come and look at her. She was sitting up. She called all her friends within 2 days, and then she kicked the body. That's how you want to go. Kick the frame. Don't be kicked out of your body. Say, no, master didn't get kicked out. He kicked the frame. A great master just says, I'm going now. And I remember another great time when I was with my mother, and she had 8 different bypasses done in her heart. Very difficult surgery that she had. And I was with my mother, and I my sisters were all crying, the two sisters, and that we were in the room after she had come out of the surgery, but she wasn't out of anesthesia yet. And so I went in there, and my sisters are, oh, mom's never gonna come back. Oh, she's gonna die. I just said, leave the room. They're younger than me, and I'm the oldest, so I could tell them, leave the room. And they left crying. And I stood there with my mother. I said, Mom, you're fine. The doctor says you're gonna be awake very soon. We're all praying for you. The surgery went great. Mom, you're fine. And I just kept repeating that to my mother over and over and over. And then I left the room, and within an hour, the doctor came and said, your mother is fine and awake. I went in to see her. She was sitting up having breakfast in a chair. And I said, Mom, did you know I was standing there? She said, I heard every word. She said, I said, what, did you hear the sisters crying? She says, I didn't hear them at all. I only heard you. And here's the thing. If you have your energy right, if you're in tune with God, if you have faith, God will help you. God will help your family. But you have to say, yes, I will do my part. I will give my all. I will stay in tune. I will energize. I will do Kriya. I will do Ananda Yoga. I will do affirmations. I will study the books. I will. And that's the I will of discipleship. And Swami Kriyanandaji found he was writing books because Master was writing in through him. He was just open and positive and affirmative. He could do all the yoga postures. When he was a young man, first came to Master, he said he couldn't do any of them. He was so stiff. But he said, every time my guru asked me, and that's the most beautiful thing, think of it, every time your guru asks you, say yes, yes. He said, every time he asked me to demonstrate them, somehow I did them perfectly. And I became known as the expert in yoga when I couldn't do them at all before. And this is what will happen to you. Keep strong and positive. Don't go the other direction. Swamiji told us numerous stories. It was a blessing to live with such a master. And he told us one story of a time when they were building a swimming pool for Master, and they were chanting the whole time. This is the whole thing. Keep in your mind, just keep a japa going. I love you, Lord. I'm with you, Master. I know you're with me. I want you, Lord. I want only thee. And he said they were chanting and chanting. 23 hours they worked on that pool. He said Master never used it, but it gave him an excuse to have them near him. So he put them to work. And they said round the clock, they chanted and shoveled and did the cement and built the pool. And one man was with them at the beginning. And he was chanting. The people at the beginning are all fine. But then afterwards, they go down. You got to keep your energy up. You can't just go to waffle or go into the wimpy mode. You got to keep strong. And so this man was going the first hour or so. And then afterwards, he said, I didn't come here to pour cement. And he said, I don't want to do this job. He went and sat down. And he said, I'm tired. He was exhausted. The others just kept going. They were just full of energy, full of joy, full of Master's power. They worked the whole time. They built the swimming pool. At the end, Swamiji said they were so happy. They were so uplifted. They were charged with energy and light. All except him, the one man who said, I didn't come here to do this. So people said, I didn't come here to do this. I didn't come here to have health problems. I didn't come here to sit in my house. I didn't come here, whatever. It's too much. Just say, God, what you want, I want that. And as you attune yourself, the most beautiful story of Swami Ramatirtha. And he went to America on a ship, and people saw him. And at the end, as they were docking, one man came up to him. He says, "Oh, well, are you, do you know people in America?" He says, "No, I don't know anybody." And he says, "Oh, well, is somebody coming to meet you?" He said, "No, nobody's going to meet me." And he said, "Well, do you have any friends in America?" I mean, this man started worrying about him. He said, "Well, actually, I have one." And he said, "Well, who's that?" He says, "You." And that man ended up sponsoring his whole trip to America. Now that's God's power. This man came all the way from India to America without knowing. He knew inside. As we know inside, don't go down, don't go into the disease, the consciousness of low energy, of moods, of worries, of fears. I'm ending with the story from Gita, Essence of the Bhagavad Gita, very short. Master told this story. Swami Shankara was standing on the other side of a river from a close disciple of his. My guru once described to me what happened. This is Swamiji speaking. I still remember his understated facial expression, the subtle hand gesture, and the quiet tone of voice with which he related this part of the story. Shankara called gently to his disciple, "Come over here." Most people would have looked around for a boat. This disciple, however, placed a foot unhesitatingly on the water. The moment he did so, a lotus leaf appeared beneath his foot and supported it. With each successive step, another leaf appeared. The disciple quickly reached the other side. From then on, he became known as Padma Pada, lotus feet. Let's take this example into our lives of complete trust and faith, but doing our part, knowing that God is there right with us every step of the way. God bless you and have a wonderful day.